I was diagnosed 2 years ago in 2022, June. Actually, just about this time, my husband and I were watching the finals in basketball. And while we were watching the finals during the basketball game, I literally just happened to touch myself, like literally during the game. And it felt like I felt a lump. And so I'm feeling it while I'm watching television. And of course, I pointed out to him and I asked him, like, doesn't that feel like a lump? And he felt it as well. And he said, wow, you need to go make a doctor's appointment. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna call in the morning. So I think that was like on a Tuesday. I called the doctor's office on Wednesday. I got a mammogram on Thursday. And on Friday, they called me June 22nd, 2022, that I was positive for triple negative breast cancer. I don't know. Like the first feel of the lump, I didn't want to think the worst. So I really was trying to convince myself like it's probably nothing. I've been getting mammograms since I was 35 years old because I did have a history of breast cancer in my family. So I knew that the chance was there, but I've been getting ultrasounds because they say that I had fibroids type breast, which is dense. And so the ultrasound can see a little better than just a mammogram. And so I was hoping that because of that, it was just like a benign lump that somebody just needed to take out. It wasn't going to be a big thing. So my first thought, I didn't just, spaz out completely first. However, by the time I got the actual mammogram on Thursday, I started to get a little worried at that point because the doctor came in immediately after my mammogram and said, we're going to schedule you for a biopsy. And so when they go hurry like that, as a nurse, since that's my background, I kind of knew that meant that it was probably going to be something a little bit more in depth than just a benign lump. And so waiting for the phone call is probably worse than all of those things put together.
It's nerve-wracking.
Because you're waiting all day. Like they literally didn't call me until like 4:30. So I literally waited all day for the actual phone call. And so that part was, the anticipation of the phone call was probably very difficult. It definitely adds to your unction, I guess. As a clinician, you take all these oaths and vows to do the best you can anyway. You know what I mean? That's your goal. However, once you are diagnosed, it does give you a different aspect of the illness and wanting to help other people, whether they're your patients or not, quite frankly. And so that's pretty much kind of where I am at this point, just trying to go the extra mile to help somebody that otherwise maybe wouldn't have, heard my story. Wow. From beginning to end, it was almost 2 years. It was a year and a half actually. And it takes a while because a lot of the doctors want you to rest in between one thing before going to the next thing. So for me, my team decided to do chemotherapy first, and I had 20 rounds of chemotherapy. However, I got a little sick in the middle, and so they took me off for a few weeks. So then it ended up being like 24 weeks, and that probably was the toughest part. Like that was the toughest part because you just don't feel well. You just don't feel well. You try to be yourself. You try to, show up for work. You try to show up for your family. And some days you just don't have enough energy to do all of that, at the end of the day. And then they wanted me to wait between my chemo and my actual surgery. I convalesced from the surgery pretty well though. I didn't do that bad, in my opinion, from the surgery. And then I had to wait again, almost like another 2 or 3 months before I could start radiation. And then I had 34 rounds of radiation. And so radiation was every single day, Monday through Friday, every single day. And it just takes your energy. Like it takes your energy. And when you look back, at it, for me, I feel like I learned that I was stronger than I thought I was. Because had you met me before, I thought I was that girl anyway. Like, I thought I was like, it's nothing I can't do. And that's how my mom raised me. My parents raised me that there's nothing you can't do. If you want to do it, you can do it. And that's what I believe as a human. I don't think there's anything that I can't do. Literally, I don't think there is. But going through this gives me a whole different perspective of being stronger than what I thought I was. Because there were days I was like, God, dog, why me? You know, like, I am a Christian and I believe firmly. I knew Jesus was going to pull me through. But there were days 100% I was like, why me? Why me? And then you think about it and you go, why not me? You know what I'm saying? Because if it was a lesser person that maybe wasn't healthy, you know what I mean? Somebody that wasn't healthy, that couldn't get through it. Like, why not me? I'm healthy. I'm young enough. I can get through this. And then I can be a voice for somebody else. So it took me a minute to get to that point. But once I got past the why me, I understood why not me. And that's what's been happening, especially since I have the privilege of being on a platform, a TV show. I'm able to reach a lot more people that otherwise I wouldn't be able to reach. People call me, people DM me, people text me all the time saying thank you for telling your story, because it helped them either go get a test or, you know, help a friend or talk to a friend or a family member. And that's always been my goal from the time I found out. I was like, just if I can help one person, that's my goal. And I feel like I've helped more than one. Yeah, that's pretty much my why. You know, my why was why me, and then why not me? And I believe I even said the sentence to my husband. I think I said, Jesus wouldn't have allowed me to find it myself when I found it, because it was pretty early in stages, as far as stages go. And I don't believe he would have allowed me to find it if he didn't have the intention of saving my life. And I believe that that was done for me to help save somebody else's life.
Studies.
So the American Cancer Society is rolling out an initiative centered around African American women, voices of Black women, and I love it. And it didn't take me any time whatsoever to want to be an ambassador for that, because it's an initiative to try to help gain a little more insight regarding the disparities around breast cancer in African American women. You know, breast cancer doesn't have any favorites. Everybody is affected in regards to breast cancer. In all honesty, our counterparts, Caucasian women, actually in numbers, have more numbers as far as getting breast cancer than African American women. However, more African American women die as opposed to our counterparts. The disparities in regards to the survival rates are the part that we need to figure out. Like, why is it happening that way? What are some of the root causes? What are some of the things we can change? You know, is it access? Is it information? Is it fear? Is it, you know, just our ethnic background, some of the things we believe? I like the fact that so much emphasis is now getting put on this. And it's a study that will follow women, I believe, over the next 30 years. Once you sign up for the original survey, over the next 30 years in regards to how you're doing. I want to say it's like 85% don't have cancer already, and they just want to follow you because, granted, some of those women are going to get cancer along the way. They want to try to see some of the things in their history or their background that might marry up to give them some more insight. And then I want to say 15% of the other group already have had cancer, and they still want to follow them in regards to the next 30 years. If something comes back, or if they stay healthy, or what did they do versus this group. So that was a big part of my conversation when I was diagnosed, and really looked into the numbers of how we are so disproportionately affected by death, that I was excited that the focus of this was strictly on the numbers for Black women and Black women voices.
That's actually, I learned, you just